we talk about it all the time, and how it would be helpful, for American tutors nowadays to work on solutions, personal solutions, our own solutions to help each other. We're a community. We need to promote unity, and we need to keep progressing and moving forward. We can't be stagnant. We can't just step back and just let life pass us by. We're American tutors. We are individuals with tenace, with passion, with the seize the day attitude. Seize the day attitude. That is an American tutor, and that's what we should always be working on. No matter how good or how bad our day may be going, we need to just seize the day. And to be proactive in the future, especially now, because prices may go higher. The cost of living may get higher. And I'm just talking common sense buzzword. I mean, it doesn't take a smart person to figure that out, what's going on today in 2025. That we're going to probably go through some growing pains. And in order to keep ourselves in the light and in love and moving forward is to learn how to live with these growing pains. It's not about complaining about it. It's not about blaming about it. It's about doing something about it. Doing. We do. We are proactive individuals. So, and I've spoken about this in the past in other videos, and even now I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, is that anything that you can do, even me or anyone can do, is to keep moving forward. And that, what I mean by that, for example, is like get a job, get some more education, do something, create a beautiful hobby that you're in love with that you may be able to monetize off of. If you really, really are passionate about something, then go for it. You may be able to monetize. You may be able to make money off of it if you love it enough. And money will follow. And for a lot of folks out there in America who do not want to work, I don't understand that. I'm sorry. I know people think I mean, I understand the side, what was being said to me about how there's no jobs, or there's not good enough jobs for them, or it's just tough to find one, or they just got fired, they just got laid off, and just kind of giving up. I'm gonna get like moving back in with your parents kind of stuff, and I think that is just, what is that about? Like I understand it, but I don't understand it in another way. I don't understand it in a common sense way, because what we're doing is that we're denying ourselves the experience of life. The real experience of life. So you have a degree. You can't find a job. Get a different job. And if you have this ego or self-pride, that's going to keep you from, preventing you from doing something, then that's just your problem. It's not life's problem. It's not society's problem. It's your problem to get over it. There's so many things, and I do this all the time with myself. And this reason I'm talking about it is because, when I take on like side gigs or side jobs or have to work for a while, that's just what we have to do. That's just life. I don't understand what we have a problem. I mean, why would we have a problem with dealing with life? If you have a problem with dealing with life, then you have a problem. You have a real problem. Because the things that you can do, even though you feel like it's beneath you, it's like, oh, I'm not going to ever work at a fast food restaurant. Why not? It's just a temporary thing. It's a good thing. And yes, you have a degree. And yes, you're intelligent or you're educated. I don't want to say you're intelligent. You may be smart and educated. But I wouldn't say you're intelligent. If you're intelligent, then you would go ahead and take that job. Because you know that intelligence will gain loyalty, integrity, honor, character, You would experience things on your own in your own life outside of like an education institution where you just got out of, you know, and so there are millions of jobs that are low-paying jobs, of course, but that's okay. We're American Tears. We can build ourselves up from there. It's a good first stepping stone. I'll repeat that. Stepping stone. It's not your life. If you, for example, you get a job at a fast food restaurant, and you kind of take it in your ego and self-pride of probably saying this is as low as I can ever get. And with my mind, it's like, no, that is not low. That is not low at all. That is stepping on a stone. That is building a foundation. You can start going up from there. These things, those jobs are like, can be temporary. It's not like you're going to be there for the rest of your life. It's not like you're going to try to be manager of the facility. But what you will do, if you're an American Tear, what you will do for sure, you will do your best. You will always do your best. Don't ever not do something and not do your best. You're denying yourself an education. You're denying yourself, how can I put this? You're a rose and you're about to bloom. And if you're a bud and you decide that you don't want to bloom and become a real rose, then you're just always going to be this bulb, and you're not going to really grow. And it takes adversity, and it takes a challenge, and that's that's how we build our own self up. That's what I'm trying to say is like these things about getting a side gig or getting some work and getting through the day is just life. I mean, I've been through it. Millions of Americans have been through it. Millions of Americans are still going through it. Nowadays, when I go inside a fast food restaurant, all I see is older, younger adults, like 25, 35. And I can tell these are like working people. They have to work. They it's like the working. I want to say the working poor, but it's the working class. And it's something that we all have to rise up and do and conquer. And these folks know that, and they're doing it. They show up and they look like they're happy. A lot of them don't even speak English. They just don't even, they all communicate in a different language, and in my neck of the woods they do. And so I just kind of like, that's just, these people know what it takes to build character and what it takes to build integrity and what it takes to do what you have to do. And to say, I don't have to do that, I don't want to do that, that's what you're saying, is that I don't want to, and therefore I'm going to come up with excuses and justifications to say that things aren't working out. And this is why, we'll go off into a bunch of justifications and excuses and go into a blame or complain, kind of, it's not my responsibility, it's the government's responsibility to take care of me, or it's my family's responsibility to take care of me, when, really the responsibility and accountability is all on you, just like it is all on me. We all got to be responsible. We all got to be accountable. And if we deny ourselves that growth of experiencing true accountability, true responsibility, we will never grow. We won't grow as American Tears. Because we're letting our ego get in our way. We're letting our self-pride get in the way. We're letting other issues get in the way of, like, what would somebody think? What were your friends going to think? Who cares? What you're doing is that you're building character. And it's a stepping stone. And it's a journey. It's a walk. It's, you kind of have to just go through the adventure and the journey and enjoy it. And that is seizing the day. And being happy about it. That is really seizing the day. Is to be excited and stoked to even have any kind of job. any day, and be thankful for it. I mean, I'll use myself as an example. I am always have been for years, and I pretty much have been self-employed most of my life. But there's been times, throughout times, chunks and slices of my life where I take on jobs. I take on side gigs. And every time I do, I am so thankful for it. I worked for this one guy, and every day after work, I would just thank him, like, thank you for the work. I always thanked him. I always thanked my boss. I always thank him for the work. I mean, and I never really hear like, well, you're welcome. It's just kind of like an odd thing for someone to say, I guess. But thank you. But I almost say it in the sense of like, thank you for the work, like in a way like, this may be goodbye. Like, thank you for the work. I'm moving on. Like, thank you for the work. I love it. I'm happy, but I may be moving on. So thank you. And I make sure I let people know I appreciate it. And that is a big deal. And that is just what I do. And I would encourage you to do the same too, because you'll be much happier and do better in life when we kind of can tackle these, I see them as small issues, but we build them into big issues. But, we can just take on these small little issues and get past it. One little baby step at a time. And through that, we'll become Americanteers. We'll grow together. We'll start to unite. We'll start to relate to each other. Because we understand that's what it takes. And what it takes is what it takes. I mean, that's, there's no doubt about that. So, if I'm going to encourage you to get out there. Do something. Do anything besides what you're doing right now. If you're spending a lot of time on the internet every day, 4+ hours, stop it. Stop that stuff. Get out there and do something else. That's going to be quality to your life. You're going to build a real future. Surfing the internet 4+ hours a day is not building a life. I'm sorry to say that. You're not building a life. You're living a rut life. And it may be a fantasy life, but it's a rut. It just goes around and around. It's not like it's going to, go off and do something for you. It's not going to do anything. It might make you feel good. It might make you look good. But that's about it. But that's not what does that get you? That's not character. There's no integrity there. There's no responsibility there. There's no accountability there. It doesn't really add up. When we, as a people, me, you, and everyone else, need to come together and join forces as Americanteers, like just, make it happen. And the only way we can make that happen is by making individual choices in the right way, being positive and productive and moving in a direction that's going to lead you into a life. And it's a daily thing. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to practice it every day. You got to get into it every day. I do. I'll raise up my hand. I know I do. I have to. I work hard. I work really hard. I always have. I've always worked hard. I've worked hard my whole life. I've never been privileged in any way. I've had to pay the price, of just being dirt poor to being not so dirt poor, and still I'm not even rich now. I'm still poor. I can, it's just like, but I put in the hours. I put in the time. I don't give up. I keep moving forward. I keep being optimistic. I keep reminding myself that this is a journey. This is an adventure. And the only way it's going to work out is to start to do new things.